we're gonna start it from the box as we usually do it. That's because a lot of guys out there are selling these as originals, and you guys need to be aware that these replica exist. That way you don't get scammed with hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, I really wish that I could provide the link of these replicas, because if you buy them knowing that it is a replica and you're going to be using it for yourself and not reselling it to scam other people, I guess that's quite okay. But unfortunately, YouTube does not allow me to enter links any longer. Otherwise, my account may be closed. So getting a look on the left hand side, we have the original box for the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. This is the T-Mobile model, and my wife actually upgraded to it. I decided to get it for her because the blue color is very popular out there. And then here we have the fake box, and it is claimed to be the black sapphire, even though we had the blue color version inside, so the box is not correct. Now this time the fonts got a lot better from the first replica that I received of the Samsung Galaxy S7. We can see the fonts are almost identical, with the exception that the original box is a little bit, I would say, glossier than the fake box. And on the left hand side here we have something very similar, with the exception that this is the original T-Mobile model, and this is claiming to be the international duals model, which comes with 2 SIM cards. Unfortunately, this one is only a single SIM, single standby, and yes, I'm talking about the replica. On the back side, we're going to find here some specific information about each device. Of course, the one from T-Mobile is giving us a lot of information, while the fake one is only giving us the basics. And no, this is not a waterproof device. It doesn't have 64 gigabytes of internal memory, and it doesn't have wireless charging, so just keep those in mind. So now let's go ahead and unbox both of them, even though the original is actually right here. It's not inside of the box. So let me just go ahead and switch this around so that way you guys don't get confused. This is the real box and this is the fake box. Now when you slide it off, you can notice that both of them are quite smooth. Okay, now the original actually is a little bit harder to get it off, as you guys can see. So I guess that if you're buying one of these, just make sure that you pay attention to all the details on the box, because they are getting closer and closer. Now, as I mentioned before, and even on other videos, these Chinese people, they tend to get perfected on replica products. So that means that they will keep working and keep working until they reach the maximum perfection, and even on the phone. So that's why they're bringing now, or simulating to bring now, the edge models and such, because they want to make it as real as possible. So here we can see that after opening that little cover, we have the Samsung logos, and on the top the colors are almost identical, with the exception that the real box is a little bit better in quality than the fake box, and we know that already. So let me go ahead and open this one. Again, we don't have the phone on here, but I just want to show you the covers and everything. So this is the little divider, and I just dropped it, but you guys saw that. SIM card that I never used from T-Mobile, and then inside here we have the manuals and stuff with the little SIM popper, something that we would not see on the replica. I'm going to show you that in just a second. We got here the fast charger. We also have some tools, and the wire is not in here, but it is the standard USB Type-C wire, in case you guys want to know. And we do have here the earphones, and that's pretty much all we get on the original device. Now on the replica one, here we're going to see the actual phone. Let me go ahead and set this manuals and everything aside, that way we don't get confused. So this is the replica, and first of all, looking at it from the front, you can notice that the sticker is not the same as the one we would get on the original product. Now keep in mind that they are pretending that this is the duals model. I guess it's the international model, so I'm not sure if this is how you will get it if you buy the international model. But here the information, actually the sentences do not make sense, like open my Samsung, will play a limit your Samsung device. That doesn't make sense at all, but you guys get the idea. On the back side here we have nothing but just another sticker covering the Samsung logo. I guess that this is so that custom doesn't seize it, but these guys are not stupid. So here we have that similar divider. Now this one is of course of cheaper quality. We do have here the manuals and stuff, but like I said before, it doesn't come with the SIM ejector tool, just as we saw on the original product. And then quickly after this we have the earphones. They're not the same quality. These are basically the older model, like the Samsung Galaxy S6, the Samsung Galaxy S5 and such. It's not going to be the same style as the original one. Now here we have the charger, and as you guys can tell, this is not the quick charger. This is the basic 1 amp charger, so don't expect anything to be exactly the same as the original. And as you guys know, replicas don't have the same hardware, so I have to give credit to the Chinese for trying to replicate it. I mean, if they can make a replica of a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, they probably have the technology to build something of their own of very, very nice quality, and even better than Samsung. So I really don't understand why they had to replicate products. I mean, I could understand that a lot of people cannot afford the original, but if you're going to make a replica, make it with nice specifications so that it compares to the original product, even if you have to increase the price for a couple $100s. But anyways, here we have the accessories for the replica, and that's all we see, and that's all we're going to get. So let me go ahead and clean this up so that we can talk more about the phone itself. Okay, so now getting back here to the phone, we can notice that I have the original one here on the left hand side. I'm going to be comparing it in just a moment. So let me go ahead and get started by removing the front protector on the replica. And as you guys can see, it comes already dirty. I guess this is all Chinese fingerprints and stuff. And on the back side, let's go ahead and remove once again this little cover. This one is a little bit harder to remove. Now here obviously we find the Samsung logo together with the camera, the heart rate sensor, which is fake, but it pretends to work as the original. We got the LED flash, and on the bottom side here is absolutely plain. Now I have to give some credit to the Chinese because they made this actually quite nice when you're looking at it physically. Of course the operating system is going to be a different story, but looking at it physically, it's almost identical here to the original device with the exception of the sensors on the top. They're not going to be the same. We know that with the original device we get iris scanning, that's why we have the extra camera on there and also the extra sensor. And now with the replica, it's going to be similar, but we know that the extra sensor is probably because it's not going to have the same technology. We had the proximity and light sensor, and I think that's the only two sensors that are hidden here on the original Samsung Galaxy Note 7, which is these two little dots that you see here on the left hand side of the speaker. And there we can see the logos. They are almost identical with the exception that on the replica one, the fonts are a little bit bigger. And while they boot up, I'm going to show you here the entire phone physically, including the frame, but I just want to wait here until the boot animation finishes. And as we can tell, the original is going to be a lot faster. That's because we have a different processor. This one is running on the MTK6580. It has the Mali 400. It comes with supposedly 2 GB of RAM. It has the Android Lollipop 5.1, even though it's faking to have the Android Marshmallow 6.0. That's not going to be correct. And the battery on the fake one is about 1800 milliamps, and on the original is about, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3200 milliamps. So there's a big difference there in the battery side, but anyways, both of them already started. And here we can see how they both compare on the operating system. They are very similar. We do have the same toggles on the bottom side, but now the animations of course are going to be a little bit different. Keep in mind guys that these two have different hardware, so they don't work internally the same way. So I think that again I have to give the Chinese a lot of credit for making something so similar. So on the left hand side here we can see we have the volume rockers up and down. The frame on the fake one is a little bit thicker. On the top you got the SIM cards. Now this is a single SIM single standby device, so it's not going to be the dual model like they are claiming in the box. On the bottom side there we have the USB Type-C ports, and this is cool because I have seen other replicas with the micro USB, the older one. We have the headphone jacks, we also have the loudspeakers together with the microphone, and finally the S Pen. So on the back side here we have the cameras. One of them has an 8 megapixel sensor camera, which is the fake one. The original one, we know that it comes with a 12 megapixel sensor camera, able to record in 4K and much more. It has optical image stabilization and all that good stuff that we enjoy from the cameras of Samsung. So you also find there the heart rate monitors. They look quite similar with the exception of the flash. On the original one is I would say of a lot more quality than the fake one. And on the bottom we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 written for the T-Mobile model, and on the fake one it doesn't have it. Now keep in mind that in some countries when they ship these, sometimes they don't have the Galaxy Note 7 written on the bottom, so that's not a way to identify if it's a fake or not. Just keep that in mind. Okay, now getting them compared here on the operating system, they are quite similar. As a matter of fact, they both have the OK Google feature. There we go. You can see the replica just got activated. I guess since I was speaking too fast, the original one didn't get activated. But yes, it is there, and that's something cool, something that a lot of replicas don't have, so you are forced to download the Google Now launcher. But this particular one, that's not needed. So getting a look here at the applications itself, we can see that they are almost identical with the exception that since we have a smaller screen here on the fake Galaxy Note 7, it is a bit smaller, but that's not, you know, a significant difference. Now keep in mind that if you guys have never seen a Samsung Galaxy Note 7 and you are prompted with one of these in the streets, they can almost pass as the original because they are very well made. Now, something that I haven't paid attention to is the little curve here on the side. This is fake. This is a flat screen, but they made it believe like you have a curved display by adding some, you know, some little tricks on the glass, and makes it seem like you have a curved display, but that's not going to be the case with this replica. Now, also keep in mind that this is the first one out there in the market, or actually the second one out there in the market, because the first one comes with the crappy MTK 6582 or something like that, so it's not going to be the same as this particular model, which is the 6580. It is a 64-bit processor, so it is slightly better than the first one that came out. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the app drawer. We can see that again they are very similar. Now keep in mind that this one has a lot of bloatware from T-Mobile. That's because this is the T-Mobile model, something that we're not going to see here on the replica. But let's go ahead and open here this little tab that says Samsung. You can see some of the apps on there, and let's go ahead and do the same thing here. Of course, the original has a lot more applications than the fake one, as you guys can tell. Now something like the heart rate monitor does pretend to work. I'm not sure yet if it's fake or if it's real, but every time I put in my index finger, you can see that it is reading it. If I let it go, it turns orange. So I guess it has some sort of sensor on there, but again, I'm not sure if it's real. And I actually used it before, and it gave me 81 beats per minute, so that sounds quite okay. So now it's saying that I have 65 beats per minute, so as you guys can see, it's a different result from the one that I got before. Maybe I am too relaxed right now. So anyways, there we have it here for the comparison of the Samsung apps. Let's go back here to the app drawers and let's compare the rest. We got there the Google apps. Now I'm assuming that on the replica we have less. I already noticed that we don't have YouTube on there, okay? And we only have 4 here, and we have about 9 here, so that's a big difference. Now keep in mind that you can always download them from the Google Play Store. Now talking about the Google Play Store, this one came installed already with it, something that we have seen that other replicas don't carry it, like the iPhone replicas, they usually don't carry it, and that's a big problem because the way they modify the system makes it almost impossible to install it yourself. But anyways, with this particular replica, it's actually there and you don't have to worry about anything else. And I'm also connected to the Wi-Fi, and surprisingly it has all the signal bars, so that's something that we don't see on replicas every single day. Now also something that I like about this replica here is that the battery does last a long time, even though it is only 1800 milliamps. For some reason, maybe because we have a 720p display on here and this is a 5.5 inch, and I guess that it is using the MTK6580 that helps it save a lot of battery. So here we have the Play Store. Like I said before, it is working just fine. I haven't downloaded any major games on here because I'm pretty sure it's going to lag. Keep in mind that again this is the MTK6580, so nothing really extreme. Let's go here into the Antutu benchmark, and I haven't done any testing on it, but usually this processor gets about almost 30,000, sometimes it gets 20,000 of score, so that's nothing impressive. If you go here into info, we're going to see some of the stuff is actually true. This is not a Samsung device. It's actually made by Alps. It's a weird Chinese company name that I have never heard before, but every single replica that comes to the market has the brand as Alps, but this time it says Samsung. Also, we can see there the Mali's the 400. We have a 720p display with the MTK6580. The camera is absolutely fake. This is not a 12.2 megapixel sensor. This is actually an 8 megapixel sensor. The front camera is about 2 or maybe 1.3 megapixels. So again, some of the stuff has been faked. Now here we're going to see the operating system is claiming to be, surprisingly, the Android SDK 23, and as we know, the 23 is for the real Android Marshmallow, so maybe we do have the real Android Marshmallow on here and not the Lollipop. Now according to iBaby, he says that this is fake, but I never seen how they can fake this information here because usually they can't. So far it's rating it as the Android Marshmallow. Maybe it is, maybe it is not. NFC is not supported on here, something that we do have on the original device, so unfortunately it's not going to be supported on the replica. And the rest of the information is right here for the sensor, so it's not going to be supporting the same ones as we will see on the original device. So with this being said, let's go ahead and jump here into the little task killer. Let's see how similar they are. And as we can tell, the animation is a little bit different, but the concept is pretty much the same. You just swipe to the left or the right and you kill the app. Same thing we can do with the original one, or we can just close them all like I'm going to do right now. Also, we got here on the top the toggles. So here obviously we can see we have more notifications on the NOTE7, and that's because right now she has accounts on here. She has her SIM card while I don't have it on here. Now talking about the SIM card, I do get 3G with T-Mobile and also AT&T. This is not a 4G LTE device as of right now. For that, we're going to have to wait maybe a few months or so. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump back to the subject here. We got all the toggles on the top. They slide the same way. As a matter of fact, this one, we had to customize it to add more on there, but you guys get the idea. This is almost the same. Now let's go here into settings, and we're going to see how close they get. So on the top there, we got connect, while on the original is connections. And let me see if I can increase the brightness on this one, as it does look a little bit, there we go. I think that's a lot better. So as you guys can see here, we have connection, sounds and vibration, very similar here. Now the names of the settings are quite different. Keep in mind that this fake one does not have a fingerprint scanner, unfortunately. Let's go here into about phone on the fake one. We know that the real one has the Android Marshmallow, but here it is claiming to have it as well. Let's see if maybe I can start playing. Let's see, 3, 2, 1, doom, doom. Actually, it does appear to have the Android Marshmallow. So you guys can see it doesn't have the lollipops. I'm not sure, I'm sorry for the focus. So there we go, we have a question mark. We actually don't have a score, and it keeps playing by itself. So yeah, this is definitely a fake Android Marshmallow. It's actually the lollipop. So somehow they were able to fake it even on the Antutu benchmark test. So that's quite surprising. As you guys know, they are getting better and better on making these little fake phones, and let me tell you, almost tricked me. So let's go ahead and check here the general management for language and input. We can see we have some languages supported on here. It's about 48 of them, if I'm not mistaken, and on the original we do have about the same. Let's go ahead and check that. Actually no, we have about, I would say, 11 of them on here. So this is, you know, supposed to be the international model, so of course it's going to act like it has all the languages supported, which is really nice. The next thing we're going to compare here briefly is going to be the edge screen. Let me go ahead and get it activated here on the original device, and now we're going to do the same thing on the replica device. I know it's a little bit hard to do them both with one hand, so here I'm struggling right now. There we go, and we got it activated on here. They are quite similar, and for the most part they work almost the same, with the exception that the original one is a lot smoother to work on. So here, if I continue scrolling to the side, she has her contacts already saved on here, which is People Edge, but they are quite similar. This is where it changes a little bit. On this one it says Task Edge, and this one says Internet. So there's a big difference right there. And this one actually is giving us about 3 options, while this one is giving us about 6 options. So we got the flashlight here. I'm pretty sure that you can customize the original to make it look exactly the same. So this is how the flash looks. Let's continue to go to the side. We have the weather on here. We have the Yahoo News, and then it goes back here to the first page. So yes, the similarities are definitely there. Now let's go ahead and talk here quickly about the S Pen. Of course, this one is going to be a lot smoother, and as you guys can see, I have the option to hover around, and it gives me the option to click. Also, this one comes with the, you know, with the real button, and that's something that we're not going to see on the replica one. And as I said before, this one doesn't click, unfortunately. You have to stick your nail on there, but the options are almost identical. But like I said before, you can hover around, and some of the features, you know, they work quite similar. I'm not going to go through all of them because honestly that'll take me like 40 minutes or so, you know, before it can get done, but you guys get the idea. This one is giving us so far 4 of them, and this one already has 6. Now something I don't see is the option to add more like we see on the original product. So this is a good way to spot that you have a fake, but again, they are super close. Now the quality on the S Pen, let me go ahead and set this aside here. The quality is actually quite impressive on the replica. This is completely made of aluminum. This one is made of plastic material. Now the button here, the little clicker, is fake, and we do have there the Samsung logos, as you guys can tell. Now the size is not the same, so you can't fit them on the original product and vice versa, so don't even try it, otherwise you may run the risk of damaging your phone. Our next little comparison here is going to be with the camera. I'm just going to use the screen on the device, even though it's not a fair comparison, but that way you guys can get an idea of how they look like. We can see here that all the animations are almost identical, so we're going to have very similar features. Now of course the original camera is a lot better. It's actually way better. Colors are more realistic. The stabilization is definitely better. But again, for this to be a what, $120 replica is not that bad, honestly. So here we can see from the box, this one, the replica actually autofocus by itself, and this one does it automatically without even having to touch the screen. But the quality here is not the same as the original device, and we can know that already. So right now I'm trying to focus, and this one seems to be a little bit more blurry than the original one. So the camera side, of course, the original is going to be way better, but keep in mind that this is an $800 phone versus a $150 phone. So it's not really a fair comparison, but I just decided to bring it up so that way you guys can see what's the difference between a fake one and a real one. Okay, now something that I want to do before I end this video with the comparison and the unboxing here of this fake device, I want to show you the speaker quality between the real one and the fake one. So right now I have open for copyright purposes my own video of the iPhone 7 clone, and you guys can see that I have the same thing on here. So what I'm going to do is play it a little bit here on the real one, and again do the comparison of the speaker. So here we go. Okay, so there we heard a little bit of the speaker quality on the real one. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing here with the fake one. Alright, so there we heard the speaker quality on each device, and of course the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 original is a lot better than the replica. That is expected, but keep in mind guys that the price difference here is quite dramatic. This one is $750 plus tax plus the case is about $800 in total, and this one is about $120 plus the case plus the shipping fee, so it comes to be about $150. So that's, you know, $650 difference. So to me that's quite dramatic, and for the Chinese to be able to almost replicate, you know, the entire phone is quite amazing. Just be careful out there guys when you purchase things, you know, outside of the Samsung stores or outside of a carrier store, because you can get scammed very easily. So with this being said, we have completed the unboxing and the comparison of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 fake with the original device. And if you guys have any questions, you know exactly what to do. Just leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Don't forget to like this video, share, and comment. And the giveaway winner is coming on the next video, and also the new giveaway for the month of October. Well guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next one.